Hi, I'm Dani Heywood-Lonsdale, and this is my debut novel, The Portrait Artist. The Portrait Artist takes place in 1890 London and Oxford, and the story begins when a portrait appears on the doorstep of the National Gallery, wrapped in brown paper and twine. It's shortly confirmed thereafter that it is a new painting by the famous explorer painter Timothy Pondon Hall, who everybody until this point has thought to have been dead for 50 years. This is a book about how art, rumour and gossip and storytelling play a role in achieving immortality. It's also a book about legacy, family, mixed race identity, and there's quiet, beautiful lives living in the margins of society. I'm here at the wonderful Waterstones Piccadilly to share with you 3 books that inspired my novel, The Portrait Artist. I'm here on the 3rd floor at the lovely art section, also next to the art books, which is perfect because the first book I want to share is The Story of Art by E.H. Gombrich. I definitely had this book at my elbow whilst writing The Portrait Artist, and it's a survey of art from ancient times through the 20th century. The best part about it, though, is Gombrich's voice. Reading this book is like going through history, learning about painters and paintings with a very wise grandfather by your side. I think his writing is clear, it's passionate, but it's also very accessible and lets us celebrate art in a very wide way, which I think is so important. I'm now down in the classic section, which is perfect because my next book is, of course, The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. Now, I first read this book as a teenager and was utterly fascinated by the way Wilde played with art and this obsession with beauty and youth. I also loved this idea of one's body being physically pristine and perfect, whilst behind the scenes a painting deteriorated with every transgression that was committed. And so since I read it myself, I've actually had the pleasure and the privilege of teaching this at A-level for several years. So in many ways, setting my own novel in this time period with these themes has felt like coming home. To finish off, I'm here in the historical fiction section, and my 3rd book is The Mermaid and Mrs. Hancock by Imogen Hermes Gower. Now, this is a historical fiction novel that takes place in 1785 London, and it is the most sumptuous, imaginative, gorgeous prose that really transports you to the time period. In addition to the writing itself, what I really love about this book is the ending. Imogen Hermes Gower, she really plays with the fantastical and the surreal, and yet she grounds it in a setting that's very tangible and realistic. So it means by the time you get to the end of the novel, the reader gets to decide how much they want to buy into or believe the potentially fantastical elements of the story. I found that really inspired and influenced the ending of my own novel.